This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. We want to get right to that all-important Memorial Day forecast so you'll know if you can fire up the grill or if you'll have to do all your cooking inside tomorrow. Let's get right to Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounds.
Yeah, Nicole, this afternoon and this evening, some of you might have needed to move that cooking indoors as we had some of those downpours. One of the strongest storms moved through Hendricks County in the Avon area. This was the scene earlier. Kevin Gregory snapped some of that video of the heavier rain coming down. You can see, though, on Storm Team 6 radar, things really diminishing. Most of the thunderstorm activity is in Illinois, and that's where it will stay for tonight. We've got just some light rain showers from Frankfort onto the northeast side of Indianapolis. Some heavier rain, though, will be moving through Shelbyville. Not expecting any additional storms tonight. Temperatures still warm and muggy where you haven't had any rain in Kokomo and Muncie in the 70s. It's 68 downtown and Bloomington. And as we go into your morning forecast, I think it's going to be a dry start for us. We'll have temperatures in the 60s with that sunrise at 6:23. But, Nicole, we do have some more rain chances in that Monday forecast. I'll have more on when that could impact your outdoor plans.
Kyle, thank you. New at 11, 2 homicides in less than 2 hours. A man is dead and another man is injured after a fight led to shots being fired in the 5300 block of East 21st Street. This happened around 5 o'clock near 21st Street and Emerson Avenue. Both men, one in his 30s and one in his 60s, were taken to Eskenazi Hospital, where police say the man in his 60s died a short time later. Police then responded to a stabbing in the 3200 block of South Oxford Street. It happened around 7 p.m. near South Keystone and East Troy Avenues. Police found a man suffering from at least one stab wound, and the victim also died at the hospital. There is a vigil tomorrow for 3 teens struck and killed by a vehicle on Saturday. It happened early Saturday morning near 38th and Kessler. Police say 3 cars were in a chain reaction crash. One of the cars hit the teens. The tragedy has prompted the pastor of a nearby church to renew his call for sidewalks in that area to keep pedestrians from walking along the side of the street. Pastor David Green will host a community prayer at his church, Purpose of Life Ministries, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. New at 11, a person is in critical condition after a serious crash on the west side of Indianapolis. Wayne Township Fire Department crews and emergency personnel were called to the crash around 7:30 to 9 in the 2900 block of West Minnesota Street near South Tibbs Avenue. The driver was trapped in the vehicle when crews arrived. Crews were able to get the driver out in less than 10 minutes. That person was taken to Eskenazi Hospital in critical condition. Now to the latest on COVID-19 and the impact it's having on the Hoosier State. The health department reports 12 more deaths since yesterday. The total of confirmed cases, 1,824. More than 31,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. Nearly 220,000 people have been tested in Indiana. A generous donation has sparked a movement in one Indianapolis church. Troy Washington is working for you to explain how the congregation is working together to lend a hand to those in need during the pandemic.
We know that so many of the challenges, whether it's housing and food insecurity or access to health care, those aren't new problems. They're being exacerbated by COVID-19. And so our congregation and some other community members are starting to dream about what it would look like to build some supportive housing within our area to support families in crisis and outside of crisis.
St. Luke's Methodist Church is looking at the big picture, but they aren't waiting to work. Thanks to a generous donation from a church member and others stepping up to match that, they're giving back in a major way.
The Benevolence Fund is unique. We had a congregant give us $50,000 as a matching grant. And when we shared that with our congregation, they said, okay, we'll match that and we'll do even more than that. And I think that is what spurred this fund raising this amount of money so quickly, and also people's desire to be of help.
Nicole Caldwell Gross is the outreach pastor. She says the Benevolence Fund has reached $120,000 in no time. The idea is to help those laid off right now or just trying to make ends meet.
People who need help with utility bills and rental assistance and childcare and even food, we've been able to help them meet those needs.
This pastor wants to make sure that people know help is available to them, even though the doors of the church haven't been open because of the pandemic.
The church is not a building. The church is a group of people helping others find and give hope through Jesus Christ. And so in that sense, St. Luke's has been and will always be open. And that's not a slogan for us. That is how we live as a community of Christians.
The funds are ready to be used. The church just needs to hear from those who need a hand. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. The church is focused on keeping people engaged during this time. They've also planned a drive-through communion for June 7th and a virtual vacation Bible school that starts on June 8th. New tonight, we're wrapping up the very first weekend that restaurants in Marion County were able to open with outside dining. We wanted to find out how it's going so far. At Downtown Ollie's, the owner says they opened as soon as they could at 7 a.m. Friday. He says crowds have been steady all 3 days. He's hearing from customers who say they were ready to get out and be social again. When dining rooms were forced to close, they did carry out and other services, but the owner says it was only 15% of their normal business. He's just happy to be back open in some capacity.
I think we were ready for it. I think there's always differing opinions. I think we could have gone at the same time that the governor announced the reopening of restaurants on May 11th. We really could use our in-house dining. That would be great if we could do that. But we're hoping that the mayor of Indianapolis allows us to go into indoor dining June 1st.
The owner of Ollie's also says he was able to keep his staff on these last 2 months due to the Paycheck Protection Program, but they have been ready to get back to work. And he says everyone, including the customers, have been doing a good job so far at practicing social distancing. The COVID-19 pandemic has been especially hard on small businesses as many were forced to shut down or close inside dining. But here in Indianapolis, Verizon Wireless is helping with its COVID Small Business Relief Fund. The fund aims to help small minority and women-run businesses. In the second round of grant recipients just announced, Lick Ice Cream in the Circle City Industrial Complex was chosen to receive $10,000. The entire store is owned and run by two sisters. Their focus is on local fruit, herb, and spice-infused ice cream. With the grant money, they plan to hire at least one new employee that will help as they prepare to open their new location at the Coca-Cola bottling plant.
Before this all happened, that was number one on my list. I was like, well, summer's coming. We'll be able to start getting a little bit more revenue and be able to hire somebody. And then COVID happened, and it kind of put the brakes on that. So this has really kind of opened it up to creating jobs for us, which is really exciting.
A total of 750 small businesses nationwide who have limited access to financial resources will receive grants from Verizon and nonprofit impact lists. I talked to a Verizon Wireless spokeswoman about why they want to help small businesses.
Small businesses are just so critical to our communities. They provide goods and services across the board that we all use in our daily lives. And I think the crisis has really put a spotlight on the importance of those businesses as we see them not being able to provide those services in some cases now, as businesses worry if they'll be able to reopen when we come out on the other side of the pandemic.
The grant money is meant to give businesses a boost to try to ride through the crisis. Verizon hopes it helps business owners stay open, support their families, their staff, and their communities. As part of stage 3 of the state's Back on Track plan, gyms and fitness centers in most counties can reopen with social distancing procedures. Eat the Frog Fitness in Carmel opened its doors today. The gym was founded by two-time Olympian Brian Clay and Joe Culver. We visited Eat the Frog today to see what precautions they are taking to keep everyone safe. When you walk in the doors, they are wide open. Temperatures will be taken and you will be screened before going through a hands-free check-in process.
Go slowly, get it right, make sure that we do our part to continue to flatten this and push things out so the medical community can stay upon it. You know, we did not want to come into this haphazardly or not take it seriously and just go back to business as usual, because it isn't that.
It felt fantastic. I was really happy to come back.
ETHFOG has been really great about communicating everything that's been going on since the COVID situation started. And today the rubber met the road, and we all had to make a decision to come back into the gym, not just for ourselves, but for our families.
Inside the studio, since they are only operating at 25% capacity, spots are marked on the floor, each one separated by 6 feet. The Indianapolis Mass Ave Fitness Center will eventually reopen once Mayor Hogshead allows gyms and fitness centers in the county to move to stage 3. RTV6 is sharing resources and stories that will help our community rebound from the coronavirus pandemic. Some recovery advocates in Indiana say they are bracing for a potential increase in mental health and substance use related issues due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They're looking at what some communities in the state are already doing to help people and connect them to resources. In Westfield, a quick response team meets with patients after an overdose to help guide them to recovery. The team includes a paramedic, police officer, and recovery coach. Advocates say this is critical for the community because it's helping those who may need help, especially during the pandemic.
I think that we all learn from our neighbors and what other people are doing. And so now that we have a couple quick response teams throughout the state, I think that we're hoping that neighboring communities will see how effective they are and their ability to help. Certainly has been the case.
We do have more information right now on the quick response teams and resources available to you in this story on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com. Memorial Day is about remembering the fallen with ceremonies at national cemeteries, but this year is different. Coming up, how the pandemic has forced Americans to find new ways to honor those who died defending our country.
Fresh for everyone.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Social distancing was out of the window at a holiday pool party in Missouri. This video shows a crowd of people packing a swimming pool near the Lake of the Ozarks on Saturday. Missouri's reopening plan announced earlier this month says that social distancing is still a must. The coronavirus does not spread in water, but staying 6 feet apart is important at pools because swimmers don't wear face masks. President Trump headed out to play golf today. He has called on states to reopen places of worship immediately, and that has garnered some praise from some people, but others are urging caution.
Rather than rushing back into a building, I think we need to take into account all of the factors: medical, social, economic.
The CDC recently posted a graphic on Twitter showing how 2 people with the virus infected at least 35 others at a church gathering in Arkansas back in March. The coronavirus pandemic has changed the way many Americans are remembering the servicemen and women we have lost. Many Memorial Day events are now taking place virtually. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert with the details.
On this Memorial Day, amid the coronavirus pandemic, Americans are finding new ways to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Arlington National Cemetery open only for families with a special pass to visit their loved one's grave. For everyone else, a virtual tour is available online. USAA, a financial services company that serves military members and their families, teaming up with Snapchat, allowing users to experience the annual Poppy Wall of Honor on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., each flower representing a fallen service member. Veterans in Delaware, Ohio, replacing worn American flags at the graves of servicemen and women buried there.
We're going to give it our best shot to honor all of our fallen veterans.
And a freedom ride at Pine Law Memorial Park in Wisconsin, the bikers and car enthusiasts visiting every veteran's grave.
With COVID-19, everything is being canceled. Not to show any kind of respect to our fallen brothers and sisters is not the right thing to do.
Bonnie Carroll, military widow and founder of Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, known as TAPS, is keeping the organization's annual Survivor Seminar going this year.
So what we've done is we've shifted it all to a virtual platform, and even right down to our family program, folks are coming together online and connecting.
There's a big white house, it's on a...
And the nation's annual Memorial Day concert from Washington, D.C., much of it recorded on the West Lawn of the Capitol as usual, but this year without an audience. NFL player and National Guardsman Ben Garland urging everyone to remember the true meaning of the holiday.
I think just encourage everybody to take a moment this Memorial Day to stop, remember somebody who's lost, maybe learn about some of the stories of those who gave their lives.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington, D.C.
A warning tonight from the CDC, aggressive mice and rats could be a problem due to the coronavirus pandemic. The agency says community-wide restaurant closures are leading to a decrease in food available to rodents, which is what they primarily rely on. And some areas have reported an increase in rodent activity as rodents search for new sources of food. The CDC says during these times it is important to continue practicing safe rodent control, like removing food sources, water, and shelter for rodents. Tonight, the effort is still underway to create a tiny house village for people experiencing homelessness. The pandemic is changing the way fundraisers can be held, though. So in order to raise money to build the Circle City Village on the west side of Indianapolis, they are holding a virtual 5K. The tiny house village is being planned near Lyndhurst Drive and Morris Street on land donated by Lyndhurst Baptist Church. Their goal with the virtual 5K is to raise up to $2,500.
Every dollar that we raise, we're excited to get to build another home. And so I think that's exactly what that interprets to. So, I mean, very critical. I know that in this time, so a fair amount of folks have been laid off. And so we know that we may see an uptick in the number of folks that will be requiring our homes.
Well, you can also sign up to run a 10-mile, which organizers say is the average distance a person experiencing homelessness travels to meet their basic needs on a given day. The goal is to start construction on the Circle City Village by the end of the year. Right now, we have details on the RTV6 app with how you can sign up and when the races are being held. Kyle.
Yeah, and if you are going to be running tomorrow at all, you need to pace yourself because we're going to have the warmth and the humidity. Today, our warmest so far this year, we made it into the middle 80s, 85 in Indianapolis. Temperatures have cooled a little bit, especially with some of those downpours, but it is still warm out there. 68 in Indy. Greenfield, though, you're sitting at 72, and it's still 76 degrees after 11 o'clock at night in the Muncie area. Here's a look at Storm Team 6 radar. Just some very light rain showers left just north of Crawfordsville through Boone and Hamilton counties. And you can see that area of rain that's moved through Shelbyville. Even that is continuing to kind of fade away tonight. And TrueCast that will continue to be the trend here as we go through the overnight. And that sets us up for a dry start to our Memorial Day. Mild as well. Temperatures that will be in the middle 60s first thing Monday. 65 degrees in Lafayette, 66 in Rushville, Columbus, and Greenwood. Our Monday forecast for Memorial Day does look very similar to what we had today. A mix of sun and clouds out there, and temperatures warming already into the lower 80s by noon. We'll find those afternoon highs getting into the middle and even some upper 80s before showers and thunderstorms take over. Your temperature, 88 degrees in Columbus, 86 in Lafayette, and like today, with that humidity, that's going to push those heat index values closer to the 90-degree mark as we go through the afternoon. So again, all of that will help to spark off a few of those thunderstorms. Here's a look at TrueCast, 3 o'clock on your Monday afternoon. Things will be very isolated. As we get into the evening, and around sunset, we'll still have some of those downpours. Not anticipating any severe weather like today. You may have some gusty winds briefly and some small hail out of those, and they will fade away here as we go into our Monday night. But the rain chances will gradually ramp up as the week goes along. In fact, it's likely as we get into Thursday and Friday. But at least initially, that's not going to do much to our temperatures. Still warm going into our Tuesday with highs back into the middle 80s. That 7-day planning forecast shows the daily chance for showers and thunderstorms. Highs are going to be in the 80s through Thursday, and then we'll start to taper off those temperatures a little bit back to about where we should be. As we get into next weekend, Nicole, things are looking cooler with highs in the lower to middle 70s.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Well, serving up good times, one pint at a time. One of the area's original craft breweries has a fresh look to their dining room, and now they are welcoming customers back inside. Coming up, see how Greenwood's Oaken Barrel is giving back in a big way.
Or visit onehourheatandair.com.
Shining bright tonight on the JW Marriott in downtown Indianapolis is this display here. It says "Back Home Again" with a checkered flag. Typically, the JW Marriott has a large wrap on the side promoting Indy 500 and the month of May. Very cool there. Well, as dining rooms open up in restaurants all across the area, many people are ready to head back out for dinner and perhaps a good beer to go with it. One place that has some of the best of both is down in Greenwood. As Brad Brown shows us, they've been brewing up success for a long time.
Down in Greenwood, the OB is one of the OGs of Indiana's craft brewing industry.
You know, when this first happened, my brewers were skeptical how much beer they need to brew. Then 2 weeks into it, they were scurrying to make a bunch more beer because we were going through so fast.
Oaken Barrel was able to make the quick adjustment to carry out service only. Now they're welcoming customers back into their dining room, and the vibe is coming back as well.
They're happy. They want to drink beer, and it makes me happy. You know, it's nice to see kind of somewhat of the normalcy, the noise level and the sights of people drinking beer and acting normal is a great feeling.
For more than 25 years, Oaken Barrel has been brewing up some of Indiana's best beers. Owner Quan Casey and his staff were able to weather through the past 8 weeks.
We've done some great marketing, and our regular customers appreciate it. They come get their growler and 6-packs, and people have been buying kegs and stuff, so we've been good.
The Oaken Barrel team is also giving back to those working on the front lines. Quan has a personal connection, and his generosity has spread throughout the Greenwood community.
I have a daughter who's a nurse at a hospital in Texas. And I don't know what she's going through with ICU units. And I have such a close ties with a Franciscan hospital here in Indy. And I wanted to do something for the nurses. And that kind of started a chain reaction. Other business people say, hey, I'm helping you, I'm helping the nurses. Let me pay for next meal. So we've been doing a lot of meals.
The suds and the smiles are coming back. Hopefully a little more with each week ahead.
I emphasize to my staff and my customers, you know, it's baby steps. We don't want to mess it up. We want to keep the numbers flat and going down so we can continue doing this until we get back to fully, you know, open 100%.
Working for you in Greenwood, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Freshman year felt like it was yesterday.
We were on the home stretch. 4 more years and we would be done.
Now it is our senior year, and because of a virus, many of the things we've looked forward to will never come.
We've had a lot of our best memories stripped from us.
To the class of 2020, we are strong and we will get through this.
That is video created by a group of best friends, seniors at Hagerstown Junior Senior High School. The video is for their student-run newscast, a tribute to the seniors despite everything they have gone through the last few months.
I don't want our class, all of the 13 years from K through 12 of schooling we've had, to be defined by one virus that kind of hits us at the wrong time. I don't want that to be what we're remembered by. But also, at the very end of the video, we have a guy that picks up the tape again in the very last frame. And you can take from that too as well, like the meaning of high school for all of us is different, and people have different stories that they want to remember or want to tell.
Well, the video features all 84 seniors. Congratulations. Let's send it over to Kyle for a final check of our forecast.
And Nicole, for the unofficial start of summer, the summer warmth is going to stick around. Those temperatures getting into the middle 80s already for the middle of the day, and we'll have those afternoon highs close to 90 degrees with a few afternoon storms.
Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night. Good Morning Indiana starts at 4:30.